Travelling this early sucked, but the conductor on this show was flying out to Austria later this afternoon, so had called a morning rehearsal. I noticed my smiling man for a second time among the tide of people that changed at Oban. He was several people ahead, striding with purpose, navigating his way through the crowd with shark-like ease, unlike me, bobbing along like a little piece of flotsam, trying to stay afloat and keep my viola case to myself. And there he was again, in the same lift as me at Covent Garden Underground station. As we walked out of the tube, he fell into step beside me. "Is your face all right? You took a bit of a whack." He looked at my cheekbone and winced. "Sorry. I should have said something to that woman, but I didn't realise what had happened until she'd gone, and she got off at Bond Street." "That's all right," I said. I didn't get the chance to say anything either. During the rest of the journey, I'd had time to get cross with myself about that. He probably thought I was a bit spineless. I lifted my hand to my face. My cheekbones still throbbed, and I could feel it was a little swollen. Great. 9 o'clock on a Monday morning, and I was modelling the Quasimodo look. Embarrassment turned to annoyance. A gorgeous man, and here I was, being a pathetic wimp. This was not me. "I'm guessing we might be heading the same way," he said, letting me go first through the tube barriers, indicating my case with a jerk of his thumb that seemed oddly out of character with his suited and booted form. "The Opera House?" I asked. "Yes, you look like a musician." I gasped with wide eyes. What gave it away? For a moment I didn't think he was going to laugh, and then his eyes crinkled, his mouth curved, and a rich, deep laugh rumbled out. "I'm psychic," he said. "Of course you are." "Violin?" "Ah, not as psychic as you thought. Viola, actually." "Ah," rumbled. "What's the difference?" I raised an eyebrow. "You really want to know?" He nodded, his smile a little impish now. I grinned back at him. "Well, why not? What's not to like about flirting with a handsome stranger, even with an outsized lump on your face, especially when you know that there's absolutely no way he's going to ask for your number or suggest an after-work drink? He was the sort of man who would be more likely to have a cool, elegant blonde on his arm. I'm no fashion expert, but that suit had a sniff of the designer about it, and probably cost more than I spent on little black dresses in a year. A viola is slightly bigger than a violin. Its strings are a little thicker, and I paused, adding in a dreamy tone that I just couldn't help. It has a completely different tone, mellower and deeper. We continued side by side down the cobbled street. "You think it's far superior?" he asked with a knowing smile as we hit the throng of people wrapped up against the vicious wind that had sprung up just this morning. "You really are psychic," I said, with a quick sidelong look at the decorations that seemed to have sprung up in the last few days, even though November had another week to run. Covent Garden was decked out in all its Christmas finery, with lots of pots and containers all around the piazza, spilling over with scarlet poinsettia and garlands of evergreens, all interspersed with tiny white lights, finished off with big gold bows. "I think you might have given it away," I laughed. "I'm probably biased." "Have you been playing long?" "Most of my life." "So why the viola and not the violin?" I laughed and waited a beat. "Most people start with the violin, but—" my mouth twitched. "I was destined to play the viola." I raised an eyebrow. "Picking up any psychic vibes now?" He frowned, pretending to concentrate before shaking his head. "No. Psychic transmission seems to have hit a block. The network's down." Before I could answer, a girl stepped out in our path from one of the shops already playing Christmas carols. She held out a tray of mince pies, enticing us with the smell of rich, buttery pastry and fruity mincemeat. Automatically, I licked my lips at the sight of the sugar glistening on top of the egg-brushed pastry. "Mince pie?" she offered. Both he and I ploughed to a stop and put out greedy hands at the same time.